Hey y'all, welcome back to Walking with the Williams. I'm Jasmine Williams.
I'm Kenneth Williams.
And today we are talking about this concept that we have always known applies to our relationship, but we finally got words for it because of the amazing podcast, The Love Hour by Miss Kev on Stage. And Kev on Stage, unfortunately, just did their last episode. So if you want to go check them out on YouTube, you won't get any new episodes, but we would highly recommend. If you are married, single, looking to be married, looking to be single, to go watch The Love Hour on YouTube. And I believe it's streaming on all platforms where you can find a podcast called The Love Hour by Miss Kev on Stage and Kev on Stage. And so she was talking about how their dynamic in their relationship is that he is a kite and she is a string. And when we heard this episode, we were like, oh my God, that is us in our relationship. And so we finally were able to put like a name to it. So babe, what is it to be a kite? What does that mean?
So
kite, I'm a string.
Right. So what I got from the podcast as far as being a kite, I'm the dreamer. Okay. I'm the dreamer of the relationship. I want to do any and everything because I feel like any and everything is possible. Right. And so yes, I'm a dreamer. So I'm always out there, floating around, trying to figure out how do I do this, how do I do that, how do I make this happen, how do I make that. I'm very creative, and things like that. And so you would consider yourself to be a string.
So I am the string to him as a kite. And basically, if you know what a kite is, you know what a kite is. The string is what makes sure that the kite part of the kite does not fly away. Kind of has two roles, like it makes sure that the kite doesn't float away, but also when you think about this, the kite also needs the string to fly. Maybe there are kites that don't have strings, but you literally use the string to pull the kite to fly. And so, like, sometimes, okay, so he's a kite. I'm the string. I'm the more realistic. Like, when he's up here dreaming, I'm like, okay, but how, when, why, where? And so I kind of hold him and ground him in place. And like Miss Kev on Stage was saying, it's like sometimes as a string, it can kind of be more like a negative connotation, or it can almost feel like the string is being like a Debbie Downer. But then when I just like thought about what I just said, I'm like, no, but the kite really does need the string to even fly. But as the string, we make sure that the kite does not get too close to the sun and burn down to the ground.
That's the
or get ran over by an airplane, a bird, I don't know.
Ran over by an airplane?
Flown over by an airplane.
Yeah, there you
go.
Yeah. So
it's like this great balancing act, because although we need each other together to like be a kite and function as what a kite does, we also keep each other balanced and keep each other grounded. So what do you think are like the benefits of being a kite, having a string in a marriage?
You said what are the benefits
of being a kite and having a string in a marriage? Like as opposed to two kites in a marriage.
Okay. So the benefits for, I guess, having a kite is that I am not the most detail-oriented person. So having you around to kind of like draw me back, because in the beginning of our relationship, I've always called you and your mother dream killers.
No, I think we talked about that in a previous video, yeah.
Like, I mean, they would hear a dream, and I mean, pick it apart so bad to the point where you just be like, you know what?
And we weren't trying to kill the dream. We were just trying to ground and guide the dream.
No, I think that you all are trying to kill the dream. But I think that you have learned how to talk. Because I think before it was just always, just like I learned how to talk, right? Like I come in, I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And then she'll come at me and be like, boom, 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 boom. Where's the plan? What's this? How you going to do this? What you going to do this? And in my mind, I'm like, I don't care nothing about that right now. I'm trying to go be a kite. Let me fly.
Oh, do you remember? I need to look this up. In that, Miss listen, y'all have to go watch the Little Hour podcast because Miss Kev on stage be dropping these lines that you're like, I didn't have a word for that.
She needs a book. A book of one-liners.
Oh my gosh, she needs a book. But she said something one time when it was basically like Kev was feeling like she was being a dream killer. And so she said that she learned to be like, do you need a cheerleader now? I can't remember the exact words, but it was basically like, do you need me to be your cheerleader right now? Or do you need me to be your thought partner? And she said that like changed the way that they were able to come at situations. Because she's like, if you want me to be a cheerleader, then I'll just cheer on what you say and just agree with you. But if you want me to be your thought partner and then your support person, like your string, then I'm going to come at you with advice. And you have to be willing to receive that. But I think that the person the kite has to be willing to receive that. And there's sometimes where the kite literally just wants to spill out your ideas. And as a string, you have to be like...
Yeah, and that's why I personally believe that I don't always have to tell you everything. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think... And that's the reason why I said I need to change up my circle. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why I love having people like Chris on my side, where I can go to him with an idea, and he'll be like, sounds like a great idea. Man, you know what? That idea would actually be a lot better if you boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, I never thought about it that way. Instead of him saying that I can't do it, he'll say, you ever thought about doing it maybe this way? Because that kind of
delivery. Because he probably says the same thing I said.
He says stuff so in a way where you're just like, I can receive that. Versus, well, how do you think that's going to work? Because that's not going to work because instead of doing that, I find that to be a thought partner, right? Like I do not want him. Lord, I don't want him to ever leave Memphis while we're here. Like, I don't. Like, that is my road dog. He's so like, and being around a person like that who's a kite, but he's kind of grounded, and I think that's what it is. It's like I need to go to Chris first about stuff, and once he kind of
when he tells you what I'm probably gonna say, then you'll be like, okay, let me go to Jack.
Yes, because it's all about the delivery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's all about the delivery. And just like in marriage, you have to learn how to communicate with your mate. Just like kite and strings have to learn how to communicate with each other. But sometimes the string doesn't know how to accept, he ain't gonna listen to me anyway, or she ain't gonna listen to me anyway, so I'm just gonna do X, Y, and Z.
Oh, we just stopped saying anything.
So like, so the thing is, it's like,
we're just like, okay, let them fly.
Let them fly, right? But then also too, people always think that kites. I think the thing is like, it's almost like we can't help but to be all the way out there. And so
that's definitely true.
So with that, it's kind of like, dang, it's kind of sad because I can't share my dreams with you. Or if you have a kite that's not, if the string is too strong for the kite will stop dreaming. And that's
pull it down to the
that is very, very sad. Because everything that you see around you was created out of somebody's thoughts. And so like for you to be a kite to the point where you're so negative and you are bringing this kite down, and now they're in a relationship with you, and it's like, dang, what am I going to do? Am I going to divorce this person? Because if I divorce this person, they're going to be asking why I'm divorcing this person. I'm going to say because they're not letting me dream.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, what? You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's...
You have to be careful.
You have to be careful because the thing is that you may say something to me that might... And again, Kev said this. He says, Melissa, when you say things, it hurts a lot more than when I hear from somebody else. That's just a way.
And then I think that's when she came in with that line of like, you want to be a cheerleader or like a thought partner right now?
Yeah. And so that's the thing. As being a kite, it's almost sometimes, I don't want to say sad, but when the kite and the string just don't have a great connection, there is this thing where it's just like, I want this string to be cut so that I can fly. But the thing is that when you're in that mindset, you don't understand the dangers of cutting yourself off from that string, right? Because there are winds that will take you. There are winds that will
smack you up in a tree.
That will put you in a tree.
Get ripped apart.
Right. That will put you in a tree. And that string is supposed to be there to say, hey, yo, there's a tree over there, and you're going to get caught in that tree.
Yeah.
And that tree may be a little bit too high for somebody to come save you. So you need to be making sure that you stay connected. But also, too, with the kite being connected to the string then sees what it's like to be up there. Right? But they're like, I want to stay grounded. But I can kind of see where you're going. So let's go together.
Right?
Let
me loosen up a little bit.
Let me loosen up a little bit.
Loosen up the kite.
Yeah, let me loosen up a little bit. Let you fly out there for a little bit. But if I feel like things are getting too crazy, I'm going to reel you in. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't even know what your question was, but...
I think you answered it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. It's like... but what do you... How do you feel... I don't know if you asked, how do you feel about being a string?
Oh, I think I said the benefits. What are the benefits of being a kite with the string?
In a marriage.
Yeah, in a marriage.
Okay.
And so the benefits of being a string with a kite is that as a string, I'm able to, like you just said, I'm able to see where the kite is going and like also kind of dream like the kite is dreaming. And so that would be like a benefit of also of me being a kite or me being a string with a kite, because I'm able to dream more than I would if it was just like two strings.
Yeah.
Married together. Like two strings together wouldn't go anywhere. And we would never go past where we are.
Right.
Because we can't see that.
Yeah.
But with a kite, it's like, okay. Like, let me come along a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I become like that little ribbon that's like on the string still, but it's closer.
On the booty of the string?
Yeah.
On the booty of the kite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good, because I mean, think about all the stuff that we've gotten into. Do you think that you would have gotten into it if it wasn't investment property?
Never.
Toro.
I can for sure tell you that.
Yeah.
But I think that I would have been okay with it because I would not have known.
Yeah, because you would not have known.
No, and I'm not a dreamer, so it just would have been like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. See, I don't. Yeah. See, but my thing is too is that I understand the benefit of having a string. Right. I understand the benefits of having a string, because again, winds can come back through in life and take you and put you up in a tree, and you need that string to be able to say, "Man, let me help you get out of there," or "Hey, you might not want to go that way," right? Because maybe there's something that I'm not seeing.
And I would be interested to know, like, I don't think any relationship that we know of that we're close to where it's two kites, two strings. I feel like almost by default the dynamic of a marriage is, a relationship is one kite, one string, one kite, one string.
Nah, I know a relationship in particular. I ain't gonna name no names. So.
That's two kites or two strings?
Oh. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And we always was like...
But I think that one of the kites is more of a string.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
They're not both up there just flying in the wind.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But they're too kite-ish. Yeah.
But that works for them.
That works for them.
They moving.
Yeah, they moving. So they're doing their thing, man. But those are two dreamers, boy. We love them.
I think that it's healthy to have like a balance of the two, and even if maybe they're
we know two strings.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Because they be like, look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we know two strings.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I guess it does work.
That's something that we bring up.
Those are successful relationships.
They're very successful. They're very successful. They just be like, hey. This is. Now
that you just said that and we're referring to it, I think the key that you need though is like language. And like we didn't really have the language to discuss what this was, but then when she said a kite and a string, I was like, and I think she actually might have got it from Esther Perel. She got it from somewhere because she reads and listens to a lot of podcasts. Yeah. But that concept was just so like, yes, this makes sense. Because it was in a way where it just wasn't like, well, this person's a dreamer and I'm not. But it showed how those two opposite like ways of thinking still help each other. And I think that that's important to see in a marriage. Because if you just see one person is this, another person is this, and that can cause like dissonance and not show how you all work together in that relationship.
So what do you think has been the downfall, not the downfall, what have been the negative things as far as being married to a kite and you being a string?
I don't know if it's the negative thing, but the just reeling back in, like having to bring like reality back.
Yeah.
And I feel like with kites, like you guys don't really think about consequences, and I could be wrong, but I feel like you guys don't think about any consequences. It's like everything will always go right all the time, and it's like, oh, not all the time. Like, what is your backup plan? Like with the investment property, I was like, no, what is your plan? Because this ain't just something that's just gonna go wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, no. So you all can dream big and fly high with there's no like, well, what do I do if I get stuck in a tree? What do I do if I get burnt by the sun? It's just like, if I get burnt, I get burnt. That's it. And so as a string, I'm like, but let me think about the things that could go wrong and try to have a plan for that. But on the other hand, it's good not to have consequences because then you're not afraid to do stuff. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know if it's a negative, but I don't really know if it's a negative. I wouldn't really word it like that.
Yeah. I would say vice versa. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the negative things about being a kite, being in a relationship with a string? I think one of the things is that sometimes I have this fear of missing out. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I do think, man, if Jasmine wasn't the way that she was, mm-hmm. man, how far would I be flying out here? Like, that's the thing I be thinking about. And when you say that we don't think about consequences, I think that we do think about consequences. But what we think about is calculated risk, right? If I spend $1 and I lose $1, then I mean that's not to me that's not a big loss, right? But to you count every dollar. So for you to lose $1 to make $1, you're like, well, no, I'm not doing that.
I could have had $2.
See, and I'm thinking, all right, so if I bet 10 on red, mm-hmm. and I lose $10, but if I win 10,000, mm-hmm. I'm gonna bet 10 on red, mm-hmm. because the what I can win is way more than what I have here on the table, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think about things from that perspective. Mm-hmm. Okay, worst case scenario, what do I lose?
Yeah.
I lose a couple $1,000. Let's just say for the investment property. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, I lose $10,000. Best case scenario is I have an asset that is bringing me in residual income every month until I decide to sell it. Mm-hmm. That right there outweighs the $10,000, so I'm going to go for it. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? I care nothing about the $10,000. Now, this is the thing, though. I'm not saying that I'm right. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I'm right, but what I'm saying is that I'm always thinking calculated risk. Okay, mm-hmm. We're going to do Toro. Worst case scenario is we total out the car. Mm-hmm. Like, it gets smashed up. We total out the car. Best case scenario is we get $10,000 off this car. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking from that perspective, and to me, those aren't hard decisions. Mm-hmm. Those aren't very hard decisions. Now, the thing is that I do have to make sure, okay, well, what does our bank account looks like? What does our spending look like? What is that? And I do take that stuff into account, but for me, it's like even when it came to doing real estate, you wouldn't have never quit your job and just been like, I'm going to go full-time into real estate. Mm-mm. No, you would have been like, I'm going to do a part-time, and then if something comes out of it, but I'm going to hold on to what I know to be true.
Just like with being a doula. I said, oh no, I need this job for a little bit longer.
Exactly. So
it's not like tomorrow I'm going to be like, I'm quitting as soon as I start training. Oh no. Yeah. I need to know that if I can't find any clients to get started, I'm still getting a paycheck every 2 weeks.
And see, and my thing was that because we're a team, mm-hmm. why don't we just look at it from the perspective of how do we survive off one person? If we can get everything under one person's income, we should be okay.
It is under one person's income.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Oh. So that's the way that we do our budget. Mm-hmm. So I said, if it's under one person's income, then we should be okay. Oh. So the thing is that the money that you bring in mm-hmm. goes towards the bills. Mm-hmm. Everything that I bring in goes into the savings account. Right. Or into the spending account. Right. Right? And so I mean, the first 2 years were kind of like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But this year has been like, oh, shoot. Mm-hmm. So it's been really good. And to see me grow each year, year after year after year, it's great because now I'm like, oh, I made the right decision. Mm-hmm. But if I still would have been part-time over at Regents, I would have never made it to this point. No. Because I would have still been like, well, I mean, Regents is bringing me in $36,000 a year.
And so that situation, like me as a kite, me as a string, it wasn't me telling you not to do it. It was me making sure we were still secure.
Yes.
Like, it was like, go do it, and then I got this part.
So I was scared to actually come to you and ask you that, like, hey, I'm thinking about leaving Regents full time. Let me tell y'all how it went. She said, I went up to her and I said, hey, I think I need to quit Regents so I can do real estate full time. She did this. And I go, I know. She says, okay, if you want to do this, then we need to come up with a plan. Mm-hmm.
That's mostly what a string needs. We need a plan.
Not all the time.
Give me an example.
Sometimes y'all just don't see it.
Give me an example. If you have a plan, I'm like, okay, I see that. That's a good plan.
I guess you do. Yeah.
It's the not having a plan dreaming that is terrifying.
You don't need to have a plan for everything. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta go out there and go do it.
Yeah. You do, yeah.
You learn better when you fall.
Let me reel my kite back in. Well, okay, finish your story.
But
no, you were saying. Were you finished with that story?
Which story was I saying? Kite. I'm off drifting in the wind. What? Okay. Wait, what was I talking about?
When you decided to quit Regents.
Okay, when I decided to quit Regents.
And you said you came to me and you was like, and then I said, okay, you need to have a plan.
You need to have a plan. And what we do? We came up with a plan. We were just like, all right, over the next couple months, we're going to pay off all our credit cards, pay off all our cars, pay off all this different stuff. And then when I quit, the only thing that we had was like our primary bills. You was making more than enough for us to survive on. Mm-hmm. And so I just was like, all right, let's go ahead and go do it. Mm-hmm. And I was actually surprised that you let me do that. Mm-hmm. But also, too, it was motivation because I couldn't let you down. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, when I look back and I saw I only made like a $15,000 or something like that the first year, I was like, God.
How did we live?
I know, I was like, but we didn't skip a beat.
No, we were still living.
We were still doing well.
We still went on vacation.
Still was doing well. And then the next year, pandemic happened. And so, like, we couldn't really go do a lot of stuff. So we didn't spend a lot of money on anything.
Nah, man. That was a good year.
That was a good year for us financially.
It wasn't a good year, but...
It was a good year for us financially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that year I made like...
didn't spend money.
$28,000 or something like that. And I made like $28,000 that year, last year. But we didn't spend... Like, we didn't go out a whole lot. Mm-mm. You know? Which was great, man. It was really great. And then this year, just more than that. Mm-hmm. So...
I will say one thing about like being married to Kai is it makes you kind of excited about what's in the future. Like, I know that he's never gonna let us like be broke. Like, even though I know that consciously, still as a string, I freak out about everything. And so, but in reality, like, I know, like, whatever he chooses to go do, we're never going to be broke. And he's literally going to figure out. Like, if we told y'all something, we don't have time in this video, but if we told y'all some of the stuff that just be happening for him, you'd be like, what? How did that happen?
I do not ever believe that I will ever be broke again.
No.
And the reason why is because I believe it so much that I like, God puts opportunities in my life. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not even kidding y'all. Like, it's just ridiculous how blessed I am.
And I think that comes with him being a kite and not being afraid to go out there and do stuff and try stuff.
And my thing is that stripping is legal.
Yeah, it is.
So I mean, I'll get out there. Come on, shoot. I'll be out there.
Hey.
I'll be at Candyland over there on Lamar.
So So anyway, y'all, we hope that this helps somebody bring language to the dynamic of their relationship. We do think that it's very helpful to have a kite and a string, and that they help each other like ground and balance each other. But then it's also great, now that when we just were talking, like I'm like, oh, we do know 2 kites and we do know 2 strings. So those dynamics work as well. But if you've ever felt like, man, my spouse is really, really dreamy, really up there in the air, and I'm really just like realistic, and you want to put language to that, then hopefully this metaphor of a kite and a string was helpful for you. So if you enjoyed this video and you want more content, make sure that you subscribe. Why do I keep saying that? Make sure that you subscribe, like, comment. If you know another couple that will benefit from this language, make sure that you send it on to them, and we will be back with more videos tomorrow. We're keeping the Vlogmas rolling. Slowly but surely, we're keeping the Vlogmas rolling. Keeping
it rolling. I will tell, just so y'all can catch that episode, we need to try to find that episode of the Love Hour and put that down in the description.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Yeah, we'll put that down. We'll put that episode down in the description, so that you all can refer to that, because that goes so much deeper.
And her language is way better.
Way better, because she's a love professional.
Basically.
Yeah, she is. She's a love professional. So, we're definitely going to go ahead and link that in. But you have anything else to say?
No.
All right, y'all. Again, like, share, subscribe, not describe. Like, share, subscribe, and if you know somebody who this video can benefit, send this to them. Love, peace, chicken grease, and all that good stuff. Peace.